Yeah, so it's kind of interesting. I feel like Tim has a lot of game against what Keenan's doing as long as Keenan doesn't stick a Jit.
Okay.
A Jit's going to be a card that Infect can't deal with.
Sure.
Some notables that I noticed: there's a Jace Friends Prodigy in Tim's deck list.
Okay.
3 copies of Daze, 4 copies of Force Friends Prodigy. Yes.
Yeah, you had me. Okay.
Yeah. So, I think he has some game. I think Keenan's not really going to be able to tap out for True Name right away.
Keenan's hand, man. Keenan has a Force, 2 TNNs, a Brainstorm, a Swords, and a Wasteland. That's pretty good against Infect.
That's pretty good. I feel like Tim's going to be in a lot of trouble.
Tim gets to look and see, and the Infect players, they're savvy, man. They know how to get it done here. Yeah, I think you're certainly forcing this one right away. Keenan goes ahead and makes the same decision here.
I think especially since you have 2 True Names,
Yep.
you're completely fine. Now, Tim, I think if you have a copy of Blighted Agent, you're completely happy with letting this go.
Yeah, almost certainly.
It also looks like Tim has a Sylvan library.
Wow, Keenan just drew a second Force Will.
Oh, no. I'm trying to see if there's a Sylvan library. There is not.
Alright, Keenan going to go ahead and get dazed here. He tried to Brainstorm, he gets dazed. I'm going to go ahead and play Wasteland. Wasteland's really, really good against these Infect decks. So, hopefully Tim has a second threat here. If not, it doesn't look like he does, so not good here. He has a third Force of Will now in hand.
Oh, no. Yeah, there is quite a bit of Stoneblade here today. Sorry if our mics are loud.
Yeah, so now Keenan's in, I'm not sure if he's in bad shape here or good shape. He's just missing land drops, but he's in pretty healthy. And he does have these Force Wills to kind of protect himself. The problem is he has down to 4 cards.
Yeah. So this is the last round. Most of our tables are going to draw.
Yep.
It's a pretty clean cut with the exception of Keenan.
Yeah, Keenan needs a win here.
Keenan is the sole 13-pointer. All
Yep.
the 15-pointers are going to go to 16 if they draw. If Keenan can win this, it's very possible he can knock one of those 15-pointers out.
Jace Friends Prodigy. What do you do with this? You just let this roll?
Yeah, I mean, from an Infect point of view,
Ugh.
Jace isn't going to kill you, so...
Keenan's in trouble, though.
Well, he's got how many forces?
He's got 3 forces, but he has... Those are his blue cards.
Right.
And a True Nemesis, which he really needs to hold on to.
Right. And he has a copy of swords, but no white.
Correct. He has a pair of swords, I believe.
Oh, wow.
No white,
okay.
yeah. So Jace Friends Prodigy not attacking, believe it or not.
Yeah. One of my favorite things to do in that standard was to declare block whenever they went after Jace.
I think Tim actually has 3 threats in hand also.
Oh, wow.
I'm pretty sure he has a Glistener Elf and a pair of Blighted Agents. That's not great here. Jace also just can end the game on its own. And we found...
And I think Tim's completely fine deploying this Ink Moth.
Yeah. Yeah, if Keenan wants to Wasteland, go for it. Keenan is 4-1-1.
4-1-1, yes.
Force pitching a Force. You know what that means. We have another Force.
Yeah.
So Keenan's fine with that, I think. And now, now we're just in quite a bit of trouble. Keenan needs to hit a white source here this turn, I think, or else it's going to be impossible.
Really tough, yeah. We could see a turn where we're going like...
the Brainstorm.
A blue source also could have worked.
Yep.
If you got True Name, but you die to Trample.
Elspeth, Jace. Not another white source. Was that Humility, I think was the last card he drew, maybe?
And it's looking like Tim might just be able to untap.
Just get him.
Invigorate Berserk, if he has either copy of those cards.
This is not good. Keenan's just really just dead here, for lack of better terms.
I believe, yeah, he's... Tim has to play around a Force of Will, but he has this Jace that he can minus.
Yeah.
So he's Pendle hitting the Glistener Elf. Alright, he's going to play this a little slower.
I'm going to take 3 Infect here.
Yep, looks like 3. We got a little poison counter for us.
Yep.
But we also have it up on the...
Yeah, on the top left there, the little green is the poison. Try and keep track of it here for you as well. Keenan knows he's not trying to land, so...
Yeah, it's pretty brutal.
There's a Flusterstorm now for Tim.
And when you're playing for top 8, this is not how you want to go out.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. I'm going to go up to 6 poison for Keenan.
It doesn't look like any 15-pointers are going to make it. It looks like the cutoff's going to be 16 points.
Yep. Keenan's right there. He's at 13 points. He needs the win here to get in.
Yep.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to be dead.
He'll probably top 16 if he doesn't win. Which, when you're in the points race for the championship, every point matters.
I think Keenan... Yeah, he's just in all sorts of trouble here. I wonder if you're supposed to wasteland one of these turns here.
It seems tough.
Not now, because you can die to the Invigorates and things like that. But
yeah.
Keenan's going to go down to 9. So he's a turn away from death. I'm not sure. So I think he has to wasteland one of these, this Nexus, and then he's going to have to... He's going to have to find a white source to plow this, but... There's a Daze in Tim's hand, which doesn't
and
do
a Flusterstorm.
And Flusterstorm, yeah, this game's over with. That's getting Flusterstormed
you
almost
just
certainly.
fluster this, right?
Yeah, or Daze. Anything, either way. All right, well, unfortunately for Keenan there, he just couldn't find the lands he needed, so he's going to go drop a game down here to Tim. And Tim just kind of did his thing. Just naturally kind of did his thing there.
Like we said earlier, your deck always looks good when your opponent's not playing Magic.
Yep, that's fair. All right, so on Keenan's side, or on Tim's side, excuse me, what do you got for a sideboard?
We've got a Bajuka Bog, Caracas, a Pithing Needle, a Spellskite, Surgical Extraction, Sylvan Safekeeper, Crop Rotation, Nature's Claim, Blossoming Defense, Dissenter's Deliverance,
Wow.
Viridian Corruptor, Flusterstorm, Hydroblast, Submerge. So tons of one-ofs and 2 Surgicals. I don't think... So, main deck, he's got 3 Vines.
Okay.
Typically, the blue-white list plays, 4 swords?
Yep, typically. Yep.
That's about it. So I don't know if I'm in the market for this Blossoming Defense. You're usually fighting over counter spells.
Sure.
Not removal spells. So the other card that Tim needs to really worry about is Jit.
Yeah, Jit is... Jit, in my experience, is almost unbeatable for these Infect decks.
So he's got a couple cards in that he can bring in. He's got a Spellskite.
And the Viridian Corruptors and things like that.
He could bring in a Viridian Corruptor. He has a Dissenter's Deliverance as well. I believe that's the
cycle one.
Cycle one, yep.
Yep.
He's got a Nature's Claim. I don't think he's bringing all of this in, but it does look like he has some answers to prevent Jit. He also has a Sylvan Safekeeper, but again, I don't think that's coming in because the amount of targeted removal that Keenan has is pretty few and far between.
Okay.
Probably a Flusterstorm coming in.
Yeah.
So I like, personally, Spellskite, Flusterstorm, maybe a Crop Rotation, just to help play around Wastelands.
Okay. Do you get rid of the forces in this matchup as well?
That one's tough. I don't think so. I think
pretty tough.
I think the Jace comes out.
Yeah, the Jace is pretty bad.
I think I want my forces because we're definitely gonna have a counter war.
Yeah, definitely.
You could cut. I guess he has 1 Crop Rotation. Maybe he doesn't bring in a second. He's on the draw. Days might be too slow.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of close ones here for Tim.
Yeah, I think so. He has some decisions to make, but overall, I think there's not a whole lot he's bringing in. I think the Spellskite, to me, is the first one.
Yeah.
And then probably a Viridian Corruptor for a Jit.
Okay, almost certainly. So here on Keenan's side, I have a pair of Engineer Explosives, a Nahiri the Lithomancer, 3 Surgical Extraction, 1 Flusterstorm, 1 Manrika Gusari, 1 Sword of Fire and Ice, 2 Containment Priests, 3 Disenchants, and a Supreme Verdict.
Keenan came prepped for the D&T matchup.
Yeah, you're not wrong here. So Keenan's pretty stacked for that. Engineered Explosives was probably pretty okay against Infect. It's a little slow, which is funny, but it's okay.
I mean, if you get it on 1...
Yeah, if you get it on 1, it's good.
It's real good.
The Flusterstorm's probably good enough. I feel like these Containment Priests are good enough to bring in also.
What makes you say that?
You're wanting to block as often as possible.
Sure, okay.
And you can flash block, which is the best kind of way to do things.
Sure.
I'd be surprised if they're not in the deck. It's kind of just something that you have to play a bunch of it to kind of understand it.
Right.
And the Supreme Verdict is really close for me. I feel like you want Supreme Verdict.
Because you're a Wasteland deck, I am in favor of having Supreme Verdict.
Yeah. So, on his end, I just don't know what's bad here. Like the Vendilion Click is okay. It's not great, but it's not awful. The true names are very good. These Council's Judgments are probably pretty too slow.
Batterskull, I think, usually comes out in this matchup,
okay.
At least from a D&T point of view.
Sure.
The Jit's the better answer. But we also, you know, DNC usually plays Sword and Fire Ice
Sure.
as well. So
Yeah, Keenan going to take a quick mulligan down to 6.
he has a Sword of Fire Ice in the side. He could make a 1/1 switch with Batterskull. If you ever land with that card, you know, you can just start trying to pick off your opponent's 1/1s, and it's very difficult for them to deal with.
Yeah.
Humility also seems really good here.
Yeah, I was going to say, Keenan has a pair of Humilities in the main deck, so that's probably the card you're really looking to stick. It's probably tough to stick through all these counter spells that you just assume Tim has and is continuing to board into.
But it's probably lights out.
Almost certainly.
And the thing is like, if Tim doesn't know he has the Humility, Keenan could make the game in such a way that, or could play the game in such a way where he plays really slow and doesn't put out a bunch onto the board.
Yeah.
Making Tim think that he has a bunch of removal. So Tim's not going to fire off, like, you know, a Berserk Invigorate combo if Keenan has white mana open.
Yep.
And then he can just, you know, stick and fight a counter war over this Humility.
Looks like Keenan is mulligan down to 6 here, but he's happy with the 6. Tim, I think, kept 7 cards. Gonna see what he's up to on turn 1 here. This Infect deck's pretty good. I had a funny game. I played the last Legacy CT we had before I went to a wedding. I think I told you this. So I played Grixis Delver, and at one point I pondered, and it was Lightning Bolt, Lightning Bolt, Lightning Bolt against the Infect guy. And I literally just flipped my cards over to him, and I just showed him to him. And he's like, "All right, we're done here." And I was like, "Yeah, I thought it was hilarious." And he was dying laughing too. So it was pretty good stuff. All right, this is the kind of the start that Keenan needs, though, right?
Yes. Threatening to get the Jet here is huge. I think Tim had a copy of Force in his hand, but he had no other blue card to pitch with.
Oh, wow. That's pretty hard for me to believe, because this deck is full of blue cards.
The Infect deck?
Yeah, it's full of blue cards still.
Yeah, I mean, there's quite a few, but you can also just have a bunch of green cards like Crop Rotation, all of your Pump Spells, your Glistener Elf,
Yeah, you're probably
Nobles.
boarding some of them out of these cards. Like, the Jace came out, and some of the other blue cards, so maybe it's not as great. Looks like we have another Noble Hierarch in hand here for Tim as well.
Ooh,
Spellscape.
maybe that's why I didn't care. That is a Force right there, right?
Yes, definitely a Force of Will in Tim's hand. He's going to go ahead and deploy another.
So I love this Spellscape. It's going to be huge.
Yeah, Spellscape's very good here. And Keenan has the Engineer Explosives, though.
Ooh.
I feel like you're just...
Are you doing it for 1 or are you doing it for 2?
I think you're waiting.
Interesting. So if Tim goes
A Glistener Elf or
a Blighted Agent or something.
Yeah.
Blighted Agent would actually be the best probably for Keenan because he gets to take out the Spellscape and the threat.
Yeah, this one's kind of tough. It just depends what else is left in Keenan's hand. He did mulligan to 6, but this card's pretty high impact here. So if he wants to cut Tim off of some mana and some power, I think this is going to be pretty good, this Engineer Explosives.
I think Keenan might have a copy of Humility in his hand too. What's that card
that's
right
a
there?
Containment Priest.
Okay, that's Containment Priest. Sure.
Yeah. I think so, at least. I could be wrong. That might even be Disenchant.
Ooh, okay.
Did he bring in Disenchant here?
I mean, it kills Inkmoth, right?
That's true. And it also gets the Spellscape.
Ooh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So.
Interesting. So if it is Disenchant,
then... he could get everything here.
Yeah, he could...
Gonna blow it all up.
Get all the 1-drops.
I actually like this play here from Keenan. He's able to resolve that and through there's the Force of Will, in Tim's hand. So if you're able to resolve it, I think you just want to get it going and kind of cut him off mana here as quick as possible. Yeah, that's really bad though. That Tim has another Nexus.
Yeah.
It's gonna be really tough to beat. Just
going
one.
For 1. No pump. That's interesting.
I don't know if he has a bunch going on. He has a Force and a Brainstorm.
And a couple of green cards.
Well, Keenan's up to 4th land, so if he has the Humility, he's just almost certainly going to try and jam it through here.
Yeah, he also has a Snapcaster Mage, and if that is a Disenchant, then...
So now, this is pretty nice. Keenan's going to be able to put this Umezawa into play as well. Brainstorm. Tim drew another Brainstorm for the turn.
It's amazed me how much Flusterstorm into open mana we've seen today.
We've seen a lot of Flusterstorm. That's like probably the best card, I think.
I would say it's the most copies in
Legacy.
In Legacy right now, other than Brainstorm and Ponder, because it's a 4 of an every.
Card's really good.
Humility doesn't affect Inkmoth, right? I believe that is correct.
All creatures.
It's a time stamping issue, I believe, or it might be a layering thing.
Yeah.
But Ink Moth essentially turns into it.
Well, I mean, this is really great here, though. I think... I don't know if that's a Wasteland. That's pretty good. That's a great one. I think that's a Disenchant, though, still, Brad, in his hand.
I think you're right. Which is better than Humility in this situation.
Yeah. Nick Thos. How's it going, Nick? Nick and Joe.
Yeah.
A couple really great guys from the SCG Tour that I've met over the past few years and hanging out with us, watching some Legacy today. This matchup could get good here.
Yeah, I'm excited to see... I'm excited to see this top 8. It's going to be really exciting.
Yeah, this is great for Keenan here if that is a Disenchant here.
I think that it is.
He's able to get rid of this Spellskite and then stick one of these Ink Moths in the dirt also.
There was actually quite a few Infect players today.
Yeah, I actually walked around. We joked about it. We were kind of setting up the overlay yesterday evening, and Brad's like, "Man, should I really put the Infect thing?" I'm like, whatever. We might as well have it in case we play Modern eventually. Yeah. And then I showed up today, and I asked some of the players that I know around the room. I said, "All right, what are you guys playing?" Infect, Infect, Infect were my first 3 answers, and I was like, "What planet am I on where people are playing this deck in Legacy?"
Sometimes you just got to bring it back.
Yeah, it is. It is crazy. Here's the force for this Disenchant. But I believe Keenan has a Snapcaster Mage as his leftovers, yes. Which is pretty solid.
Well, and he has this Wasteland, so he gets to...
He's insulated. And Tim's down to 1 card also, I believe. It looks like... I hope that's not double Berserk. I feel like it is.
I think one was a Glistener.
Okay. For Keenan's sake, I hope it's not double Berserk. Yeah. All right, that's the one. Attack. Hiya. That's it. Yep, I like this. Go ahead and take it down.
Take one.
Keenan's down to 3.
3 Infect.
Yep. It is. You're right. That one was the old Glistener Elf. So Keenan's going to go ahead and launch this. This is good timing here, too. You don't want to let them pump their thing here. You want to try and get them at end step as well here.
Definitely a common mistake you see against people who are just starting to play against Infect, is they like to try to mid-combat use removal.
Yeah, Keenan has Snapcaster and a Brainstorm now, and he has a pair of counters on this Umezawa's Jit, so he's kind of insulated from most things. Yeah, this is going to be great. This is going to be great for Keenan. He's able to disenchant this Spellskite, it looks like.
And you have to get it off the field.
Absolutely, because it makes all your other cards much worse.
Yes.
So, and he's only on 1 Tim. Tim, 1 Spellskite total?
Yep, that's what it looks like. So now this Jit's like almost impossible to beat, right?
Yeah, it's going to be very hard to beat now.
He gets to put 2 more counters. Once you're on 3 counters, it's almost impossible to lose.
Yeah, this is tough.
So Tim needs essentially 3 pump spells.
You remember when people wanted Umezawa's Jit unbanned in Modern?
Yeah, there's no way.
That's great. Cool thought. Yeah, it looks like Tim might just take a little info on the way out of the door here, so there's a Become Immense.
Ooh. Well, I mean, that's certainly a card you want to see.
I just don't think that Keenan's going to get himself into a spot where he's going to die to Become Immense.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm Keenan...
And he has Drew Wasteland.
There's a good chance that I'm just like, I have 17 counters on my Jit.
Yeah, this is pretty bad, and I don't even think he has any Corrosion Grip.
Yeah, I don't think there's a single Corrosion Grip.
Viridian Corruptor.
There is a Viridian Corruptor.
Dissenter's Deliverance.
A Dissenter's Deliverance, yeah. No.
And a Pithing Needle.
Grips.
Those are the other cards.
Pithing Needle, yeah. We're not sure what's in, though.
Yeah, I don't think Keenan's losing this match. Looks like we're going to be able to get to a nice looking game 3 here. Keenan going to go ahead and Brainstorm up here. Looks like another Disenchant.
He had 3 in his list.
That might have been the Humility actually there. I can't tell. That's another Disenchant.
Yeah, it looks like
Keenan's in great shape.
When all you're doing is facing down an Ink Moth Nexus, I completely agree with you.
Feels okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Stoneforge.
Stoneforge, yeah, and
so he either left in the Batter Skull.
Yep,
he did.
He did.
Or he brought in this Sword of Fire and Ice.
I don't know how I feel about this Batter Skull. We kind of had a brief conversation about it.
I like to switch them. I think Sword of Fire and Ice, drawing an extra card, taking out a creature is a little bit better.
Okay.
Personally. Your life total doesn't matter, so the lifelink really isn't relevant.
Sure.
Equipping for 5 is also not something you're really interested in doing.
Yeah, I believe that. Yeah, and Keenan just has It might as well be an infinite number of counters on this Umezawa's JIT.
But again, like he doesn't want all his threats, so maybe he brought in the sword as well.
Yeah, you never know. Is that Viridian Corruptor? It's not. It's a Glistener Elf.
Tim needs
he needs
a lot.
He needs a ton. He needs a ton to get back in this game.
Mismatched Stoneforges, yeah.
Wow, that is for shame, Keenan. I have a lot of respect for Keenan, and I thought he was the kind of guy that would never do that to me. But here we are on camera with Mismatched.
He never struck me as the kind of guy that cared.
Really?
Not to me. He's like, you know what? I'll play whatever cards people hang my way or whatever I got lying around.
That's most Magic players, right? Just like, hand me your cards. They're good enough. Some are foil, some aren't.
No.
I don't care. Oh, yeah.
I don't know what the split is, but I feel like that's the minority.
Is it?
Most people is like, all my things got to match. Maybe I'm wrong.
All right. Looks like Tim's going to scoop him up, and we're going to be on to a third and a deciding game here. So, super important for Keenan. He can make top 8, and Keenan's kind of a guy who grinds our leaderboard pretty hard, so
yeah,
very important match. Super important match for him. Got a little unfortunate game 1 to miss on the lands and just never be able to stick anything relevant. And Tim had a pretty nice start. This game also was the same way though, where Tim had a nice start. He had Spellskite, but Keenan just found some of his more important sideboard cards in the Disenchants and the Wastelands.
He got a 2-for-1 out of his Engineered Explosives.
Yep.
And then he had the Disenchant and a Snapcaster.
Yep.
To basically use that spell twice as well.
Yep.
And then once the JIT comes down, if Infect doesn't, if they're not basically swinging for lethal that turn, if 2 counters get on that, it's really hard to win.
Yeah.
Now, Spellskite, like we mentioned, does kind of prevent that a little bit, but, Keenan was able to have the Disenchants. So really heads up play, bringing those in. Probably expected them more to just be killing Inkmoth Nexus, and, I guess that's one downside to Spellskite.
Yeah.
Is if people are bringing in those types of effects,
Sure.
You're kind of playing into that strategy anyway.
Is there anything else, thinking back here through the sideboard, is there anything maybe on Tim's end that you want? If he doesn't have Pithing Needle, you think you want it now for this JIT? Do you think it's already in?
I don't think it's in. I could see it being in now, though.
Yeah, just because he didn't really see too much out of Keenan that game. I guess it was reasonable assumption that Keenan's playing these Stoneforge Mystics and a Stoneblade type of deck. Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty tough.
Well, he has multiple things he can name now that he's seen them. He's got Engineered Explosives he can name.
Yep.
You could always name Stoneforge and JIT. He still saw Batterskull, which you're not naming, but you could name just Stoneforge. But because we saw EE, I think Pithing Needle's a real consideration.
Okay. And then Tim's probably making a concession here, kind of like Nick says, is the dazes are going to be much better now. You can essentially kill Keenan very quickly.
Sure. And that might be a reason why he's not bringing a Pithing Needle now.
It could be, yeah. So it's hard to say what he's going to do with these changes. I don't think there's anything else I would do. Like the Flusterstorm's still very good, obviously. The Council's Judgments, and I don't know what else does he have? Yeah, I don't know. For Keenan, I feel like being on the draw is going to be really bad in the post-board games.
It seems tough. I think he's going to want to try to mulligan to either a hand with force or
some swords. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. All right, we're about to kick it off here for our 7th round of Swiss. It looks pretty good for Keenan. He needs lands. He has 1 land.
He's got double EE, though. Fortunately, EE Wasteland does not work.
He has a Wasteland as his only land, though. Yeah, it's not good. So Keenan's going to send it back. Tim also mulliganing down.
Okay.
I think this favors Keenan's deck, the mulliganing.
I would tend to agree with that, yeah.
It's pretty tough. There's a lot of times where you're 2-for-1ing with these with the Force of Wills, though. So, but there's also times where Tim can just kill you on the second turn.
Yeah, but Tim needs a collection of resources.
I agree.
He needs threat, potential counter backup, and some pump spells.
Yeah, that was always the problem with the modern Infect deck, is you didn't have cards like Brainstorm and Ponder to gash you back up. If you got Inquisition or Thought Seized on your first turn and they killed your first threat, you basically died on the spot.
Yeah.
And we used to joke around and call it the Infect problem, or the Boggles problem. So if they kill your first thing or take your first thing, you're just kind of dead. You don't really have that problem in Legacy because you have so much card selection, you're able to find what you need.
Yeah, exactly. These decks that are attacking or using their resources that way, they really need ways to make sure that they're drawing the correct half of their deck.
Yeah, definitely.
Or a third of their deck, or whatever percentage it is.
All right. Both guys going to take a mulligan down to 6 here. And Tim had a Force of Will. Does he have no lands?
Keenan's got Council's Judgment.
Couple.
One of those might have been a Pendelhaven.
Name. I think it was a Pendelhaven on Tim's end. And it looks like he has a Verdant Catacombs as well.
Okay. And he has a Force. Does he have a blue card to go with it?
I could not make it out there. He has a Noble on one as well.
Okay, it was a fetch land.
Keenan's hand's not awful. It's just very, very slow.
He
has a Vendilion Click.
Council's Judgment, a click, and a True Name?
And a True Name, yeah.
Ooh, all 3 mana spells. That's going to be a little rough.
Yeah, he's going to need some help here.
Because his first thing's likely to get countered.
Yeah, he's going to need Tim to be very slow. And with a Noble Hierarch on the play, not likely to be very slow.
Yeah.
See how it goes. I haven't seen Infect in a long time. I know some people, like Emma Handy, were playing it in Modern. I haven't seen it a lot in Modern. I haven't seen it even less in Legacy recently.
Yeah,
is that like a direct concession to Fatal Push?
I feel like it has to be.
Swords to Plowshares.
That was a pretty good draw.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a direct concession to Fatal Push or just people just aren't playing it anymore.
Also, there was always this argument, and I'm sure Joe, watching the stream, has heard it as well, that Infect was really good against Miracles.
Okay.
But a lot of Miracles players thought that their Infect matchup was close or good.
Isn't that funny?
Yes.
Everybody thinks that their deck is good against everything. Is that kind of like the thing?
Yeah. So I think it was probably closer to 50-50, and a lot of it probably came down to the play. So when Miracles was heavy in the format, I think Infect actually existed. So what is our card here? Sylvan Safekeeper?
Is it the Sylvan Safekeeper? I think it is.
That seems likely. I don't see anything.
The art is different on the versions I've seen. So Keenan's going to go ahead and... it looks like he's going to take this 2 here.
That's going to be a hard card for...
the Safekeeper.
Keenan to beat. I guess Council's Judgment gets around.
He's going to probably fire it off here after he's taken the 2. And in the end step here, probably going to try and get this off the table. He's going to set Tim back a little bit is his goal, I think.
Well, if he doesn't think Tim has anything insane, he could untap, try to Council's Judgment out the Sylvan Safekeeper, and then untap again with Plow, but that seems really slow.
Yeah, I believe that's a Sylvan Safekeeper. I'll put it up on the screen for you guys. I can't tell that art is different than the ones that I've seen today. So, yep, it sure is, because you can see Tim is sacrificing a land for that right now. So Sylvan Safekeeper is a 1 mana 1/1, sack a land, target creature you control gains Shroud until end of turn, which is pretty good in this deck.
And it looks like Tim has a forest in his hand. So these are basically Vines of the Vastwoods.
All of them? Repeatable
yeah.
vines? Yeah.
I mean, you don't get the pump, but...
What do we got here?
Now, if you're likely sacking lands, should you tap Noble or should you tap your land?
I'm on the fence about it, honestly. I don't think it truly matters at this point. Keenan's already up to 4 Infect, so it's getting kind of dire for him here.
All right, and this Glistener Elf follow-up.
Yeah, I wonder if he's fighting here. Counterspell. Wow. Okay. That's still in. I think that's probably fine. Keep. Tim has a Force and 1 more. He has 2 cards left. Keenan just found a Stoneforge Mystic. Do you have time to play this?
So he could... Realistically, he does. But it's also like leaves him dead to any pump.
Yes.
And Tim hasn't played has Tim played any pump in all 3 games?
Wow. Did you see what Keenan just ripped off that? The last card was a Wasteland.
Oh, wow.
Keenan might be back in the game here.
So, well, one thing he can do, the Safekeeper can animate the Ink Moth using the Trop, and then sack a land and give it Shroud.
Yep.
So, Tim's still insulated against it.
Tim's going to run out of lands eventually here, though, right?
That is a problem.
But he might kill him in time.
That is a problem, yeah.
Yeah, this is going to be tough. This one's going to be pretty close here. Keenan's trying to figure out the best way to go about doing things here. And I feel like it's probably time to just get the Stoneforge in.
Man, Sylvan Safekeeper seems like it could be modern legal.
I was gonna ask you earlier. This is the second time we've seen this card today. I was gonna ask you how playable this card is.
It seems good in a field full of like check pile.
What is the most recent? Is it modern legal? Is this card modern legal?
No, I think that's a conspiracy
card. Okay.
Or like it was printed ages ago
Way
and then
old
reprinted in Conspiracy.
Okay.
Or whatever set
Commander
that was.
14.
Some Commander.
Yeah,
I
Commander
don't know.
one.
I could be wrong because I honestly don't know. But I think based on the set, yeah, it looks like Commander 14, Judge promo, and
Conspiracy
whatever.
reprint. Okay.
Yeah.
Is from Judgment. Okay, cool.
Judge.
So you guys know all these bad green cards that I would never ever know.
I mean,
Ali Rod's Invitational card.
ooh.
All these
Spicy.
Invitational cards are busted.
Yeah.
Snapcaster Mage.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're gonna do it, you gotta do it
You
right.
have to. I mean, you just have to. If I had one, it'd certainly be something nuts.
Okay, so we saw Stormforge come down and get a Jit, I think.
Yeah, he grabbed a
Yeah,
Jit,
he did get a Jit.
and he's got a Council's Judgment. So maybe your line is you can Council's Judgment. That's how bad is this to get the Safekeeper?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of talked about that earlier, but I don't know if Keenan has time. The thing is if he can get counters on his Jit, then the Sylvan Safekeeper, isn't all that scary.
And Safekeeper can save itself.
Yes.
Right, because it's target creature, not target other creature.
Yes.
So this could be interesting here. Tim's going to listen to your advice, by the way, and use a land instead of the Noble Hierarch.
I think that's right.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that you're correct. This one's going to be wild. It's going to be quite the race. Oh,
So
he's got a Vines of the Vastwood in here.
It looks like he's preemptively thinking about giving it Shroud, which I don't think you need to do.
I don't think so. Yeah, Keenan's going to go on up to 6.
Still not.
Yeah, he can float the mana. Yeah. Got a Vines.
All right, I like this. You still get your lands.
Yep.
You keep your lands, but still protect your creature.
Now what? Now what does Keenan do? How does Keenan survive? So you got para cards left for Tim.
So one thing Keenan could try to do, he doesn't. Okay,
Disenchant. He just
it
ripped.
is. That
That's
was pretty
really good. Is it enough though? That's the question. Is it enough? So Keenan does have this Vendilion Click, so he can block as well.
I like it. Yeah.
So we get to ambush. We get to ambush this thing.
If Tim has a blue card, that plan kind of goes.
He doesn't. He has a Vines. He has a Vines.
He can hard. Well, I was gonna say he could hard cast Force of Will, but he's actually 2 lands short because.
Yeah, he's gonna have to Vines. He's gonna have to Vines this, I think.
I like this a lot.
Yeah, Keenan's just gonna take a look at his cards and say, okay, you can keep this one. I assume he's gonna let him keep this one. Wow, that's really good.
Well, I think if he targets Tim has to Vines.
Yeah.
And then he leaves him with just Force, which
And
I
you let him keep it.
assume you'll just let him keep it.
Yeah, you're just going to leave him with nothing left in the tank at this point. Yep, so he goes ahead and Vines, kicks the Vines. And there's that. You get to keep
+5/+5.
Yeah, you get to keep that one. And then we're blocking. Boy, that's scary. To let him have it is scary because you know you need this disenchant to resolve the next turn.
This Sylvan Safekeeper has been insane.
You're not wrong. It's done really crazy stuff. I actually can't imagine that card being good, but it is. Has been good. Another Wasteland.
Oh wow. That's still. I mean.
He can Judgment here.
And have Wasteland back up.
And have the Wasteland or the Disenchant back up.
Yeah.
Yep, and he's probably picking the Safekeeper, right?
100%.
Boy.
I think Keenan's gonna pull this out.
Yeah, it looks good all of a sudden. And now you have to waste it. Yeah, Keenan's in great shape now. All of a sudden he's in great shape. What's up, Atrons? Hope everyone's having a good time. This is the last round of Swiss, and then we're gonna have some. Okay, see, and
man,
that's pretty big though.
Yeah.
But it looks like he didn't find. He found a Blighted Agent, I believe.
Okay. The Jit is still a problem though.
Yeah, the Jit is going to be unbeatable here.
Yes.
Because Keenan's able to attack this turn with it.
Right. So one thing that's interesting, he knows about the Force of Will, right? Or
he does know?
Did he click? He clicked
him and let him keep it. Yes.
Okay. So if he has Blighted Agent, blue card, Force of Will,
he's going to keep this spell Skype. It looks like.
Ooh, that's good too.
But we have a disenchant for this.
That's true.
Like Keenan just has him covered pretty nicely. Keenan's played this game really well.
Right, but Keenan can't also he hasn't like turned the corner yet. He hasn't gotten ahead. He's just still defending himself.
Is that a Flusterstorm?
It does look like a Flusterstorm.
And Keenan has this Jit, and he also has a Stoneforge Mystic now. So,
and I think this turn he'll finally deploy it.
Yeah, I think so as well. He's kind of safe. He wants to play around like Viridian Corruptor or something like that.
Yeah, well,
and if it gets countered, he's not going to let it get countered with the Stoneforge.
He's going to bring it in Stoneforge.
Yeah, exactly.
So he'll do it on Tim's end step.
Yep, he's going to play this very safe. Is it time for Noble Hierarch to attack?
I mean,
all right.
did he? Okay, he did main phase. All right, cool. So Tim's unstep. Jit comes in. Looks like we'll equip it.
Oh, that's another disenchant.
Another disenchant.
Yeah, Keenan is miles and miles ahead here.
And the counters are on, and the game is over.
Yeah, the game's going to be over here. Keenan really turned the corner nicely.
Yeah, Jit.
That Vendilion click was awesome.
Jit, so good.
Yeah, it's tough sledding. Oh, it's dying to the Jit here. Gotcha.
Yes.
Smart by Keenan. You want to cut him off mana if you can.
So I would say from the Infect side, Sylvan, Safekeeper, All-Star.
Sylvan Safekeeper was just nuts all day. I mean, it was very good there.
Obviously, Keenan had to rip
Tim,
5 removal spells in a row.
Yeah, Tim looks like he's going to lose this game here, but Sylvan Safekeeper, I think, is a card going forward that his Infect decks are just going to want.
Yeah, I agree.
It's in some quantity.
It seemed really strong.
It might be better than the Spellskites, assuming that these blue-white decks are going to bring in Disenchant against you.
I agree.
It's you kind of get like just some splash hate because of the Inkmoth Nexus. So
now, one thing I'd like to see is Sylvan Library alongside the Sylvan Safekeeper.
Yeah.
Mostly because you're going to start stacking your lands, and you're just going to want to refill your hand with lands or refill your hand with some gas.
And most of the time in these Infect decks, I've seen them play some amount of Sylvan Libraries in their deck.
I've seen usually one in the main and one in the side.
Okay. Yeah, I was trying to look up
for the people who like to play them.
Yeah. Yeah, looks like Keenan's just gonna run away with this game because of the Stoneforge.
He now has EE, Flusterstorm, and
swords. Is that a sword?
sword?
No, it's a counter.
Oh, it's the disenchant.
It's the disenchant. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, Keenan's just happy to do 1 for 16 more turns at this point. He's fairly well insulated.
Yeah, once you get to 5 counters, I can start pumping my guy. But
yeah, that's fair as well. So what are we looking at for the top 8? I actually don't really truly remember. I know there's
Food Chain.
There's
going to be
Blue-White
Stoneforge.
Stoneblade. Yep, the Stoneblade deck.
What's Tommy on?
Tommy is playing Food Chain.
Oh, right.
We watched someone punch their ticket last round. They were playing the Grixis, Punishing Grixis is what we called it.
Punishing Fire, Grixis deck.
Punishing Fire and Grixis. It's pretty sweet, so obviously stick around
a young
to watch
Pyro,
that.
had some deck fading in it.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Very cool. Yeah, the top 8 should be exciting.
And Keenan could be in with a win here. I think he's going to be in with a win here. Let's see here. So they're going to go ahead and Keenan's going to go ahead and pump up the jam here and try and just end this game as quickly as possible, it looks like.
Yep, looks like he's taking 3 counters off, which is 7 damage.
Yeah, he's going to go ahead and put him down to 9, down to 8
damage.
And he's going to try and put him dead here.
Oh, there was a fetch last turn. Okay,
yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, and Keenan looks like he drew a swords there for the turn as well.
Tim's probably looking for that Viridian Cover-Upter.
Yep.
Are you happy to just remove a counter?
It's either that or you just jam. You just jam the engineer explosives and try and kill him. Was the other one.
Keenan's hand is just all removable.
Yeah, Keenan's just stacked here.
Oh, wow.
You going to put him to 1?
Yeah. That seems
I don't mind
fine,
it.
I
don't mind it. You have 5 removal spells in hand. It's probably okay.
It means you can't fetch.
Yep, it does cut off the fetch land. Tim trying to figure it out. Just concedes to Keenan. Really great played game by both guys, honestly, that game.
Some sick rips by Keenan for sure. Really, again, most important card, Jit. Keenan knew it, identified it.
Yeah.
Got it every time. Tim, I felt like he had a chance to fight over the Stoneforge, but I don't think he did. He either was missing a blue card or he just chose not to fight.
Yeah.
I'm not sure which it was.
Yeah, that one looked pretty hard for Tim to navigate through. Keenan obviously drew pretty well. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there was a point in there where Tim could have squeezed in a little bit. It was pretty tough though. There was a couple. The back-to-back Wastelands was pretty brutal.
Yeah.
He couldn't find a way to deal with that, and then Keenan just had the Disenchant for the Spellskite right away.
Yeah, it was. I mean, just the amount of answers he had between the Wastelands that he drew, the number of Disenchants, the swords that he was holding. It was. Yeah. It was
it all
too much to get through.
It looked really tough. I don't know how much time we got. Let's see how much time we got left. Probably about 10 minutes. We're going to do a little bit of bookkeeping here. We're going to get our top 8 situated. But we'll be back here just in a little while here with our top 8.
As soon as we possibly can.
Yeah. So we'll be back. Make sure if you want to follow us on Twitter, it's at NerdRageGaming1. We will tweet out when we're about to start the quarterfinals. But we'll see you guys here very shortly.